Interesting choice. You going for the disco ball look?
I'm a teenager who's made a couple of mistakes. You're a 50-something-year-old man who lives alone, drinks all day, and clearly hasn't figured out his own life.
Cobra Kai has been one of the biggest TV hits over the past few years, not least for its excellent action sequences and tense drama. However, many observers have pointed out that the martial arts-based show is actually low-key kind of funny, which of course just adds to its popularity. Today, we're discussing 10 of the funniest moments from the show that made everyone laugh out loud. Don't go anywhere.
Interesting choice. You going for the disco ball look?
I'm a teenager who's made a couple of mistakes. You're a 50-something-year-old man who lives alone, drinks all day, and clearly hasn't figured out his own life.
Let's get straight to it. First up, it's a hilarious line from Johnny. As you'll know if you've watched the show, one of the biggest themes is its strong anti-bullying stance, an excellent message which would spawn one of the all-time great Johnny Lawrence lines. At the end of the Season 1 finale, the reigning champion of the All-Valley Tournament encourages everyone in attendance to take a moment of silence to show that bullying and hatred will not be tolerated. This prompts Johnny to lean in close towards Miguel, whilst everyone else has their heads bowed and tell him to kick that pansy in the face. Of course, some of the more delicate souls among the watching fanbase took this completely the wrong way, but when taken as a joke as it was meant, it was actually very funny. What's your favorite Johnny Lawrence line? Let us know below.
Make sure he's okay.
Of course.
Escúchame. Quiero decirte que estuviste estupendo.
Next up, we're talking the boba kick. Having trained in martial arts almost his entire life, the character of Daniel LaRusso has a pretty high tolerance level. His training under the legendary Mr. Miyagi means there isn't much that will faze him, but of course, like everyone else, he's only human and definitely has his limits. His patience is severely tested in the 4th episode of Season 1, entitled Cobra Kai Never Dies, as Johnny defaces a billboard advertising Daniel's car dealership. Daniel then goes to speak with a rival dealership owner, who inexplicably makes fun of the usually calm Daniel. At first, it seems as though Daniel will let it slide, but he quickly decides otherwise and lands an expertly placed kick to the boba tea the man is holding in his hand, covering the dealership in a boba tea mess. What did you guys make of this scene? Pretty hilarious, right? We're discussing Robby's fall now. Stay tuned. Robby Keene isn't usually involved in the funnier moments on the show, as he's usually in among the more dramatic fight scenes. As he's being taught by Daniel in one of the earlier tutoring scenes in Season 1, Daniel decides to take Johnny's son out into the woods in a bid to impart some of the Miyagi-esque wisdom he received from his trainer. He tells Robby to hop up onto a felled tree trunk and walk across it in an attempt to improve his balance. Of course, the youngster doesn't see the benefit and quickly asks Daniel if the exercise is supposed to be difficult, before almost immediately falling off and ending up in a heap on the ground. One of the best examples of speaking too soon in TV history, and also a hilarious moment. What did you guys make of this one? Another hilarious Johnny moment now. In the most recent season, Johnny decides to make a couple of extra bucks by signing up to drive for Uber, as well as delivering food. During his first shift, the Eagle Fang man picks up a group of young girls who ask him to play Billie Eilish for them. Johnny shows his age by first of all pulling out a cassette tape, before then sticking it into the player to reveal it isn't Billie Eilish at all, but Billy Idol. Brilliant. The scene also includes Johnny urinating in a beer can and playing the drums on his steering wheel, so we're not surprised in the least when he was given a 1-star review. But it was hilarious, so we'll let him off, right? What's the funniest scene you've seen in Cobra Kai so far? We're talking about Miguel attempting to walk next. Stick around. Of course, there's nothing funny about paralysis, but one thing the show does get right is the funny connection between Miguel and Johnny in the 3rd season. As we know, Miguel was injured in the Season 2 finale, and in Season 3, we watch as he attempts to teach himself to walk again. One of the best things about this storyline was how Johnny would push Miguel not to give up on walking again, by placing objects just out of his reach and prompting him to at least try. This is evidenced when in the hospital, Miguel reaches for his phone, but Johnny pushes it just out of his reach. He attempts to get it, but simply falls out of the bed onto the hospital floor. Later, Johnny then attempts to light a fire under Miguel, literally, in a bid to have him move his legs, but has to extinguish it when the fire burns his shoes. Hilarious. Daniel's no mercy message is up next. Daniel visits the treacherous Kreese in prison in an attempt to get information on Terry Silver and figure out what he's planning. He promises Kreese he'll have his lawyer help him get out of jail if he just dishes the dirt on Silver. So Kreese, who realizes his situation is pretty grave at this point, decides to turn on his former friend. As Daniel steps away to call his lawyer after Kreese has told him what he wants to know, he returns to Kreese with what we all assume to be his lawyer's number on a piece of paper. However, it turns out that instead of the number, Daniel has written a message to his rival, which reads, "No mercy, mother." Wow, we didn't know he had it in him. What about you guys? We're talking a hilarious bit of Johnny confusion next. Stay tuned. As you will have noticed, the show attempts to be as woke as possible in many episodes, which only really serves to confuse many of the older characters, not least Johnny. You probably remember the hilarious moment in Season 4 when Johnny tries to recruit some new girls for his dojo in the park. In a bid to sell the gym to them, he explains that the gym has plenty of good-looking guys, to which one of the girls claims, "I'm a The comment goes completely over the head of Johnny, who informs the young lady that he's a too. Check him out, total stud. Talking about Miguel, who is off flexing in the background. Did you guys like this scene? Another bit of Johnny magic next. Stick around. Possibly the funniest character on the whole show, fans were in bits in the first season as Johnny lines his new recruits up for training in the junkyard. Attempting to fire them up a little, Johnny asks questions such as, "Are you losers?" and "Are you nerds?" To which they all reply, "No, sensei." To double check they mean what they're saying, he asks, "Are you sure?" To which the whole group again replies in unison, "No, sensei." This leads Johnny to facepalm in front of them and question what on earth he has in front of him. What did you guys make of this scene? Tell us your favorite part of Season 1 below. We have another brilliant bit of Johnny confusion now. I mean, we could literally have done an entire video on Johnny Lawrence alone and his utter confusion with modern society and internet culture. The character is truly stuck in his 1980s glory days and has no idea how to tweet. And even simple things like connecting to Wi-Fi networks seem to be beyond him. So you won't have been surprised in the slightest when he completely misses the whole hashtag thing. He asks his students to post an online ad for the dojo and tells them to add one of those hash browns, like hash brown Team Cobra, which is absolutely hilarious. The joke pops up again later in Season 4 when Johnny is drunk tweeting, again failing to use hashtags properly. He actually writes the word hash brown before his tag, which is brilliant. We all know someone like this, right?
We're not gonna let that happen, are we?
And finally, it's that Season 4 kick. As Johnny and Daniel finally come together in a bid to put an end to their long-running feud, they put everything they have into getting one over on the other. The fight takes place at Myagi-Do, and as both men are jostling for position, Daniel attempts a kick, which lands flush in Johnny's face. However, at the exact same time, Johnny lands a hand on Daniel's face, with the pair ending up flat out on the mat. Both Sam and Miguel are at a loss as to who won the fight and who scored a point on the other, leaving fans with no answer to the decades-long feud between the two senseis. It was also pretty funny watching the two older men going to war like that. Let us know what's been the funniest part of Cobra Kai over its 5-season run so far, in your opinion. As usual, thanks for dropping in on us today. And remember to swing by again next time for some more fun revelations. And why not do us a big favor by liking and sharing today's video. Also, please subscribe to our channel so you won't miss out on more great content. Bye guys!